Your dream kitchen is actually a functional nightmare, and nobody in the design industry wants to admit it. We have been sold the lie that a massive open-concept island is the peak of modern luxury. But here's what the magazines do not show you: the exhausted homeowner who cannot find a single clear surface to chop vegetables. The couple arguing because one person is watching a movie while the other runs the blender. The family that spent $40,000 on a remodel and now dreads cooking in it. The controversial truth? Open-concept islands are destroying your ability to cook efficiently. We have been prioritizing social performance over culinary utility, and your kitchen is paying the price. You probably already sense something is wrong. You feel it every time you carry a hot pan around the island instead of directly to the sink. You feel it when cooking smells linger in your living room for hours. Yet you blame yourself. You think maybe you are not organized enough. Maybe you just need to adapt. You do not need to adapt. Your kitchen needs to work for you. The traffic jam in your own home. Every kitchen has what designers call the work triangle. It is the path between your sink, stove, and refrigerator. The ideal triangle has legs between 4 and 9 feet each, with the total perimeter between 13 and 26 feet. When these distances are right, cooking flows naturally. You move without thinking about it. But here's what happens when you add a large island. According to design experts at House, a poorly positioned island can obstruct the flow of traffic to and from the sink, refrigerator, and stove, creating a bottleneck in your kitchen. Think about what that means in daily life. You are carrying a pot of boiling pasta water from the stove to the sink, but the island is directly between you, so you walk around it, holding scalding water, navigating past someone sitting at the island checking their phone, while your child runs through the kitchen to grab something. Every meal involves extra steps. Simple tasks take twice as long, and carrying hot items around obstacles creates genuine safety risks that most homeowners never considered when they approved that island design. The National Kitchen and Bath Association recommends at least 42 inches of clearance around islands, and 48 inches if multiple people cook together. But many homeowners install islands based on aesthetics, not function. They see the gorgeous island in the showroom and completely forget to measure how it affects their daily workflow. The result is a beautiful obstacle that makes cooking harder every day, and fixing this later means moving or removing the entire island, which costs significantly more than doing it right the first time. The oversized island syndrome. There is a widespread belief in kitchen design that bigger is always better. A larger island means more counter space, more storage underneath, more seating around the edges, more of everything you could possibly want. But designer Rainey Richardson sees a completely different reality in her practice. She said that some islands are so big you cannot even reach the center of them to make use of the area or even clean it properly. She advises homeowners not to go for a ridiculously oversized island for no reason, because bigger is definitely not always better. This creates a practical problem that sounds almost silly until you actually experience it in your own kitchen. You have this massive surface sitting in the middle of your space, but you can only realistically use the edges. The center of the island becomes dead space that collects dust, crumbs, decorative items, and random objects that nobody wants to deal with. Design analysts at Home note that in open-concept homes specifically, oversized islands can interrupt pathways and make kitchens feel cramped and uncomfortable despite their actual size. A compact, well-proportioned island actually keeps a room's flow smooth and unobstructed, while still providing all the function that people actually need on a daily basis. There is also the seating mathematics that rarely gets calculated correctly during the design phase. Richardson notes that the standard overhang used to be 12 inches, but that measurement no longer works with modern bar stools that tend to be larger. She now recommends 14 inches minimum as the overhang, which is actually the maximum before you need structural supports, like corbels underneath. If your overhang is too shallow, the people sitting at your island have absolutely no legroom and feel cramped. If it is too deep without proper supports, the countertop material can actually crack or sag over time from the weight of people leaning on it. The island that looked absolutely perfect in the showroom can become a daily source of frustration when the measurements do not account for real bodies in real chairs doing real activities. Your kitchen smells are now everyone's problem. This is the issue that takes most open concept homeowners completely by surprise, and it affects your entire living experience in ways you never anticipated. Research from Air Oasis on indoor air quality found something genuinely concerning. In an open concept layout, there is no barrier whatsoever to slow the spread of cooking pollutants. The kitchen, dining area, and living space all share one continuous air volume. Particles and gases generated at the stove begin dispersing immediately into the full connected space within minutes of starting to cook. What does that actually mean in your daily practice? When you fry fish for dinner, your living room couch absorbs that smell and holds it for hours. When you sear a steak, the smoke drifts across to your curtains, your carpets, and your upholstered furniture. When you cook with garlic and onions, which is most meals for most people, that aroma permeates absolutely everything in the connected space. The experts at Build with Rise documented common complaints from open concept homeowners. Smoky air appears several minutes into cooking, even with the range hood running. Food smells linger long after cooking has finished. Greasy residue appears on pendant lights, ceiling fans, artwork, and high shelves that are nowhere near the actual cooktop. Here is the uncomfortable implication that rarely gets discussed. Based on this research, if you have children in a play area adjacent to your open kitchen, they are likely being exposed to cooking-generated particulates throughout the entire meal preparation process. The wall that traditional kitchen layouts took for granted actually did something important. It contained the air quality consequences of cooking to one single room. When that wall disappears in an open concept renovation, so does that containment. And the solution requires serious investment. Ventilation experts recommend a range hood with minimum 600 cubic feet per minute airflow for open concept kitchens. If your cooktop is on the island, you need an island-mounted hood that hangs from the ceiling, typically costing $1,500 to $5,000 plus installation. The irony here is genuinely painful when you think about it. You removed walls specifically to create an open, airy, spacious feeling in your home. Now you need a massive stainless steel hood hanging down in the middle of that beautiful open space just to manage the cooking smells that have nowhere else to go because you eliminated all the barriers.
Noise travels in both directions. Open concept kitchens are marketed as the ultimate solution for keeping families connected. Everyone can be together even while someone is cooking. It sounds wonderful in theory. But connection works both ways, and sometimes that constant connection becomes a significant problem. According to experts at New York Kitchen and Bath, noise travels easily in open layouts. Blenders, dishwashers, and conversations disrupt relaxation in nearby spaces. Watching TV becomes difficult if someone is cooking at the same time. But the problem also works in the reverse direction. The experts at Cosmo Appliances point out that for many people, cooking is actually a meditative, calming process that helps them decompress and relax after a long day. An open kitchen design, however, means that all the noises from family members, pets, televisions, video games, and general household chaos flow readily into the kitchen space. If you do your best cooking in a focused, quiet environment, you may really struggle to reach that flow state in an open concept layout. The design that was supposed to bring families closer together can actually create daily friction and resentment. Someone is always being interrupted by someone else. Someone is always annoyed that they cannot concentrate. The lack of separation that felt like freedom in the showroom feels like constant compromise at home. This matters especially as families grow and change over time. Teenagers who need quiet space to study for exams. Grandparents who visit and enjoy peaceful conversation without competing with kitchen noise. Spouses who work remotely from home and need to take video calls without background sounds. Each of these extremely common situations benefits enormously from the simple ability to close a door and create acoustic separation. Open concept layouts remove that option entirely and permanently. The pressure of permanent visibility. Here is a stress factor that almost nobody discusses in the design magazines or renovation shows, but every single open concept homeowner eventually feels it accumulating over time. An industry analysis from Carey put the situation very directly. An open concept kitchen design requires near-perfect organization at essentially all times. Since the kitchen flows seamlessly into the living areas without any visual barrier, every single dish in the sink, every crumb on the counter, every spill that has not been wiped up becomes immediately visible to everyone in the entire main living space. This means you cannot leave pots soaking in the sink or countertops temporarily cluttered while you handle something else, unless you are comfortable with your whole home looking messy. The experts at Wolf Home Products highlight exactly what closed kitchens offer that open concepts simply cannot provide. With a closed kitchen design, you do not need to worry that each guest who visits or person you open the door to will see any mess you have left in the kitchen. All you have to do is close the door and the kitchen chaos becomes completely invisible. In an open concept layout, there is no door, there is no escape, there is no way to temporarily hide the normal mess that accumulates during actual cooking and living. Your kitchen must essentially be showroom ready at all times, or else your entire living space looks disorganized and chaotic. This reality can create a psychological burden that tends to accumulate over time. Many homeowners report they cannot have surprise visitors without immediately feeling anxiety about the breakfast dishes still sitting in the sink. Every single moment of normal, natural kitchen mess becomes a moment of visible disorder that affects how your entire home feels and looks. Some homeowners adapt to this pressure by becoming almost compulsive cleaners who cannot relax until every surface is perfect. Others eventually just accept lower standards for their entire living space, because the effort of constant maintenance becomes exhausting. Neither of these outcomes is what people envisioned when they fell in love with that gorgeous open floor plan on the home renovation television show. As one frustrated homeowner on Reddit put it quite bluntly, the dishes in the sink pile up and every single guest who comes to your home can see them immediately, not to mention the mess on the counters. The open concept promised freedom and connection in modern living. What it actually delivered was constant maintenance pressure that never goes away. When open concept actually makes sense. I want to be genuinely fair here. Open concept kitchen islands are not always the wrong choice. There are specific situations where this layout genuinely works well for certain people. Large homes with generous square footage can accommodate substantial islands without cramping traffic flow or creating bottleneck problems. If your kitchen is at least 13 feet wide, as experts recommend, an island becomes a practical addition rather than an obstructive one. If you do decide to choose open concept, here are the absolute minimum requirements I would recommend. Ensure at least 48 inches of clearance around the island on all working sides. Invest in a powerful ventilation system of at least 600 cubic feet per minute that you actually commit to running every single time you cook. Choose an island size where you can comfortably reach the center from all sides. And be completely honest with yourself about whether you are someone who naturally cleans as you go, because open concept layouts absolutely punish those who do not. Open concept kitchen islands definitely have their place in home design, but that place is not in every single home for every single family, no matter what the design shows and real estate listings want you to believe. Before you knock down that wall or approve that massive island design, ask yourself the genuinely important questions. How do you actually use your kitchen on a completely random Tuesday evening? Not when you are hosting a special holiday dinner. How much does kitchen noise and cooking smell actually affect the people trying to relax in your living room? Are you honestly someone who maintains constant tidiness naturally, or do you actually prefer to hide the mess and deal with it later when you have time?
The word open in open concept means open to noise from both directions, open to cooking smells spreading everywhere, open to the permanent visibility of every single mess, and open to traffic flow problems if the design is not absolutely perfectly executed. Know exactly what you are actually getting yourself into, and make your decision based on how you genuinely live your daily life, not based on how beautiful magazine photographs make you wish you lived. If this video helped you think differently about kitchen layout choices, Let me know in the comments below. And if you already have an open concept kitchen and have experienced any of these frustrating issues, I would genuinely love to hear your story.